Hello, I'm John White.
And I'm Karen Devine. Tonight live at 6, more than 20,000 people still out of their homes tonight, mostly in western Riverside County. Up to the minute details on the Holy Fire and why the court case against the man accused of arson is delayed.
And caught with pot, a News Channel 3 I-Team investigation tonight. How schools are dealing with a problem they say is getting worse after California legalized marijuana.
You're watching KESQ.
Continuing coverage on the Holy Fire burning in the Cleveland National Forest. We've learned Forrest Gordon Clark, the man accused of starting the fire, refused to come out of his jail cell today, forcing his arraignment to be postponed until tomorrow. Nearly 7,000 homes and more than 20,000 people are under mandatory evacuation orders as the fire has charred more than 9,600 acres and is only 5% contained. 2 firefighters suffered injuries today. While evacuations are in place, some residents are choosing to stay and protect their homes.
We have our water trucks, our 2 water buffaloes, and we're ready to go. So, I mean, what else are you going to do? The people that believe in a mandatory evacuation, they left, and I believe that I should stay here and protect my property.
Well, this is video of the suspected arsonist, Forrest Clark, before his arrest. Now, according to officials, Clark owns a cabin in the area of the fires. He sent an email to a volunteer fire chief warning this place will burn. He's being held on $1 million bail.
Authorities are investigating the death of one person found in a destroyed mobile home in an RV park in Indio. News Channel 3's Sarah Trott is on scene right now with our live mobile newsroom at the Indian Wells RV Resort off of Jefferson Street in Indio with up-to-the-minute details. Sarah.
Yeah, John, this home behind me is a total loss here at the Indian Wells RV Resort in Indio. What was once a home is now an ashy mess. Cleaning crews are yet to come over here and clean it up. We had CAL FIRE confirm with us one person died in this fire that happened overnight around 1 a.m. We don't have that person's identification yet at this time. Now, neighbors and management I talked to said the owners had already moved out and the property was supposed to be vacant. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. If this was an accident or set on purpose, I talked with one neighbor who described what he woke up to last night.
All of a sudden I heard a very large explosion and a blood-curdling scream, and it freaked me out. I didn't know if it was an earthquake because my trailer was rambling, and then I saw orange coming through the blinds, and I looked and I called 911.
Now, this is a live look at what the scene currently looks like, just pieces of the foundation and metal scraps, caution tape blocking off the entire area of this property. Residents have been driving in and out as they're trying to figure out more on what happened here. And as we learn new developments, we'll keep you posted both on air and online. Reporting live in Indio, I'm Sarah Trott, News Channel 3.
Thank you, Sarah. Hot and humid today, but I don't have to tell you that. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen tracking your conditions. Haley, as we get closer to the weekend, will we get some relief?
We are going to be getting some relief. Temperatures are actually going to be staying on the cooler side for August, granted, but we are also going to begin to dry out. Not feeling any dryness today. Dew point temperatures are in the 60s. We are certainly seeing those clouds above and relative humidity values in the 30s. Ouch. Yeah, 78% relative humidity at the top of the tram. There is monsoonal moisture all across Southern California, and it's going to stay with us even into tomorrow. Now, right now, looking at our radar, all the storms have weakened around San Gorgonio Mountain. Just some light showers occurring, but I am tracking more storms over Arizona. I will show you where they are at and where they're headed coming up in my First Alert forecast.
We'll see in a bit. Thank you, Haley. Continuing coverage now on a banning teachers strike. Teachers there saying they're the victims of unfair labor practices. The district superintendent countering, saying that they're being unprofessional. News Channel 3's Alex Cheney brings us more on the negotiations between the two sides.
We're now into the second day of the teacher strike against the Banning Unified School District as teachers maintain they are being worked an extra hour and not being paid for it. Now, a lot of negotiations went back and forth today, but ultimately, no deal. Here's more.
In the last 2 days, and we'll be out another day.
Teachers from across the Banning School District are demanding respect as they say the district has engaged in an unlawful labor practice.
It's unfortunate that we have to strike the first 2 days of school, the first 3 days of school, but they're not working with us.
Since last school year, the district required teachers to be in the classroom an extra 52 minutes to meet state instruction time requirements, but with no pay for that time. Both sides made several counteroffers today, including teachers offering to add 2 whole school days to the year, but Banning Superintendent Robert Guillen said no.
As teachers, we are trained to teach our children respect and also recognize poor behavior from our students, and we are recognizing it here with our leadership. They are not wanting to work with us.
Parents said the strike also affects their students.
Right now, my oldest is in 5th grade, and they've merged 2 classes, 4th and 5th, so it is a little distraction for her. It's only the 2nd day of school, but for them to know that there is something going on, they can't fully focus. It's not fair to the children as well.
In negotiations, the district offered to lower the 52 minutes to 20 and pay back only a portion of the more than $500,000 they owe to their teachers as back pay. Negotiations came to a halt, and as for now, there is nothing planned to resume talks, and teachers will continue to be out of the classroom until an agreement is reached.
And earlier today, I did ask for a comment from Robert Guillen of the Banning Unified School District, who declined to comment. It's looking like this case is headed to court on August 28th and August 29th, where they will settle this contractual dispute in court in Glendale. Reporting from Banning, I'm Alex Cheney.
Thank you, Alex. Sentencing in the Pinyon Pines triple murder trial scheduled for tomorrow morning.
Next on News Channel 3, we're looking back at this case nearly 12 years in the making.
Plus, an update on our 5th annual Pack the Bus drive. Sunline saying it's the most donations they have ever received.
And later in sports, another high school football preview featuring the Desert Mirage Rams, featuring a small roster with big hearts. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
The 2 men convicted of the Pinyon Pines triple murder trial will be sentenced tomorrow. The date was set back in June after nearly 2 weeks of jury deliberations. The jury found Robert Pape and Kristen Smith guilty for the first-degree murders of Vicki Friedley and John Hayward. Pape was found guilty of second-degree murder and the death of his one-time girlfriend, Becky Friedley. Smith was found not guilty in her death. Pape and Smith could now face sentences of life in prison without parole. Stay with News Channel 3 as we will be in court tomorrow for the sentencing.
Our Pack the Bus backpack school supply drive today, a big success. Thanks to you, our viewers, more items were collected than in previous years. The 5th annual event started early this morning at the Walmart on Monterey in Palm Desert. We partnered with Sunline Transit Agency, who had a full bus parked in front of the store. So far, 900 backpacks have been donated, hundreds more than in previous years, with many of them filled with pens, pencils, notebooks, and other supplies helping to pack the bus. Everything will be distributed by the Coachella Valley Housing Coalition. Karen and I had a chance to meet with many of you who dropped by this afternoon. It's a case of neighbor helping neighbor and making sure kids get off to great starts this school year.
You know, getting those things that they need. You know, kids love getting an education and going to school and interacting with other children, and it's important that they have the things that they need to go there and be successful.
By the time we stopped by this afternoon, Josh had lost the tie. It was hot out there. The donation drive finished up at 6. We want to thank Sunline employees for manning the bus all day long, making it easy for everyone to help our local students. Great job.
Yeah, and that video is from earlier today, because by the time we got there at 2:15, there was so many backpacks. Like he said, they collected at this hour 900. The whole back of the bus was full almost to the top of the bus. A lot more than you saw there in that video. So again, thank you to the community for coming out.
Great work.
Valley schools are seeing an increase in students with marijuana in their possession.
Next on News Channel 3, caught with pot, an in-depth I-team investigation.
Hurricane John, no more. Now a tropical storm continuing to weaken. Right now, maximum sustained winds at 65 miles per hour. Even though it's steering away from the United States, it's still helping bring a lot of moisture up from the south, and that's influencing our weather right here in the desert. My complete first alert forecast is coming up next. You're watching KESQ, the desert's news leader.
More kids are getting caught with pot on campus at our local schools. The Palm Springs Unified School District has noticed the trend of more students getting their hands on the drug's many forms since the state legalized recreational marijuana back in January.
Tonight, I-team investigator Jeff Stahl examines how the district is rethinking its approach to drug abuse violations in his report, Caught with Pot.
Students are back on campus in the Palm Springs Unified School District, where there's a troubling trend. Administrators have seen a spike since January of students in possession of marijuana edibles and oils in vaping pens like these.
I think because it's new and it's something that students have used before anyway, but they've also used alcohol. It just is more, it's more easily accessible now.
So the school district is changing its expulsion policy to help the students and keep them on campus. Number one, they're going to offer a drug abuse prevention curriculum to all students starting at grade 4. They're going to hire 2 full-time substance abuse counselors, also offer voluntary substance abuse counseling to all middle and high school students.
Something is terribly wrong, and Ian won't talk to us.
The education will start young. 4th graders will read Sonny's story, showing a student's decline to drug use through the eyes of his dog. The book teaching kids skills to refuse drugs.
The message that this book will teach them
is, I think, a couple different things. I think it will teach them really what happens to a young person, how their personality changes, and how it's seen by everybody, including, in this case, even his pet that he loved and he grew up with.
Because of the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Parent reactions are mixed.
I think it's a good idea, and it's not too early to start.
I think 4th grade's a little bit early, like really early. It needs to be, they can start in middle school, because it's generally when kids are getting caught bringing it on campus and stuff. But
middle school students will now learn drug avoidance strategies and work to identify adults who they can talk to about drug dangers and other risky behaviors. In high school, students will learn about prescription drug abuse, marijuana, binge drinking, and other drugs. The district will no longer expel a student until a 3rd drug offense. For a 1st offense, they'll receive counseling, then a referral to a mental health therapist if they're caught again.
If they start very young, then chances are it's going to affect their brain development. That'll affect their lifelong learning. That will affect, how they can be successful in the future.
This drug abuse problem isn't unique to Palm Springs. In Colorado, drug-related school expulsions and suspensions jumped 40% after recreational marijuana was legalized there. The Desert Sands Unified School District reports marijuana suspensions increased from 216 last year to 327 this year. That's an increase of 51% year to year. The Coachella Valley Unified School District doesn't track violations by specific drug, but confirms an increase in suspensions due to controlled substance violations. School districts are still waiting for Prop 64 dollars, money meant to help those school districts deal with the unexpected costs as a result of legalization. But even when those dollars do come, there's no clear word yet on exactly what those districts will be expected to do with that money. So to pay for it in the meantime, the district says Palm Springs, Cathedral City, and Rancho Mirage have each committed $100,000 toward funding the anti-drug initiative. They're waiting to see from Desert Hot Springs, where a funding request will be presented next month, also from the Desert Healthcare District and the Agua Caliente tribe. The goal is to educate both students and their parents while providing treatment for students, keeping them in class, which will ultimately help the community long term. For the I-Team, Jeff Stahl, News Channel 3.
Well, you can read more about what other local districts are also saying about the increasing number of students caught with pot on campus and their responses to it. It's all online right now at KESQ.com.
And do you have a tip or story you want the I-Team to investigate? Tell us about it. Email iteam@KESQ.com or call the KESQ newsroom.
Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen.
If we had to put a positive spin on all of these sticky conditions that we're experiencing with the monsoonal moisture, it's that our temperatures are also cooling down. This afternoon, Palm Springs only had a high temperature of 104. Thermal came in this afternoon at 108. But as you can tell, those temperatures already beginning to drop. It's still going to be a warm evening and a warm night, but it is some type of relief, especially when we're dealing with our dew point temperatures in the 60s and the 70s right here in the Coachella Valley. Now, for reference, we normally like it less than 50 degrees, ideally in the 30s. We like it dry, but these dew point temperatures are going to be staying in this territory as we head into our Friday and even into the early start of the weekend. Why? We're still dealing with the surge of monsoonal moisture. We had some thunderstorms right around San Gorgonio Mountain earlier on this afternoon. One of those storms even becoming warned for some heavy rain, but all of that has weekend dissipated. Now just continuing to track a few light showers up in the mountains, but that doesn't mean it's all over yet. Still looking at this line of storms working its way across Arizona. Note the motion. It is going down towards the southwest, and it will continue this track throughout the rest of this evening, not looking to reach, say, Phoenix until about 7:30 this evening. The cells traveling about 20 to 25 miles per hour, so a little bit of speed in there as well. They will continue that motion, and again, we still have a lot of moisture all across the southeast and just south of us. So that's what's continuing to flow right into Southern California and what we will continue to experience into tomorrow as well as into the start of our Saturday. So looking ahead towards our Friday, still going to be tracking some mountain thunderstorms as well as more surges coming from Arizona into our California desert and isolated storms staying with us even into Saturday, but drying out as we work our way even more into Sunday and Monday. Look at those temperatures, nice and seasonable. We'll keep those conditions fairly dry at least until the latter half of the next work week. John, Karen?
We're looking forward to something finally. Thank you, Haley.
Tonight on ABC News Channel 3 at 8, it's an all-new episode of The Gong Show. At 9, it's The Match Game. And don't miss Take 2 at 10.
Coming up all new on News Channel 3 at 11, the muggy conditions are the talk of the town, how they're impacting some local businesses now. That's tonight, all new at 11. Sports is next at 6. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
This is the best local sports show with Cody Krupp.
As Mark Twain said it is not the size of the dog in the fight, it is the size of the fight in the dog. The Desert Mirage football team may have the smallest roster in the Valley with just 26 players, but they are full of heart with a star running back leading the way.
Good. Get up and get that.
With the sun beating down on the East Valley.
Good spacing. We've got to make plays.
Throw that in the laundry every single day.
I throw some of them away, yeah. Go.
A small but tight-knit family continues to push on.
We've got 26 kids out here that love being here. They're here every day. They're working their butts off, and we're just going to coach them up. You know, we don't look out in the parking lot and wait for other kids to show up.
Just 26 players on the Desert Mirage football team that all believe the time is now.
All your weight's coming back.
It is this year. I don't care. I'm going to say it now, but it is this year.
Last year they were 2-8, but fought through the final game till the final whistle, losing to their rival Coachella by less than a touchdown.
Find too many positives in losing, but the kids saw that they can compete with the league champion, and it really spilled over into the offseason.
And everything starts with Manny Ridge, their workhorse senior tailback in the backfield.
You know, he led the state in carries, 44 a game. He would carry the ball 44 times and be out here on Monday and be the first guy running sprints.
Pretty much my mom had to get me up out of bed. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I felt.
The little engine that could.
Just a tough, durable kid who's got a motor that doesn't stop.
But if I have to, I will try to go through you. It might not work, but I'll try it because I'm, man enough to do it.
But the Rams know that if they want to be successful, they're going to have to balance between handing the ball to Ridge and letting that football fly.
Do fake the ball to him. He draws a lot of attention on the defense, which leaves a lot of receivers open, or at least in one-on-one man coverage.
Possibly make it to CIF, if that's possible. And making memories with my brothers on my last year is nothing else I could ask for.
There is just 2 freshmen and no sophomores on this roster, so though they need more people, that doesn't mean that just anybody can wear the Rams jersey.
Come to the sport, and if you do, you better have the will to stay in the sport. If you don't, then you're not going to make it. Don't come if you don't have the will.
So there's Manny Ridge right there. We talked about him yesterday. His father passed away right before the season started, went out and ran for 2,197 yards. So a great kid and a workhorse running back, too. So.
Yeah, they have to work hard.
They do. He's articulate, too, and just a go-getter, huh?
Yeah, and this team, though, they have 9 players who are going to have to play both offense and defense to start. It's a lot to ask, but that's why the heart that they have and their will to win is what it's going to take for them if they want to win some of these games.
We'll keep an eye on them. Yeah. That's great.
They're going to have to be in great shape. Tough to play both sides of the ball in weather like this.
It certainly is very humid out there, but actually something pretty cool is happening. We always talk about fires creating their own weather. Actually, over the Holy Fire, there has been lightning now indicated from the pyrocumulus cloud. And of course, I'm still monitoring those storms that are marching across Arizona as we speak. Drier air on the way. We'll really notice a difference by Monday.
Lightning would be the last thing they need.
It certainly is.
All right, we'll see you back here at 11 o'clock.
Have a great night.